Military Intelligence Flashpoint 1946. A newly independent nation faces total collapse as an army of 15,000 battle-hardened guerrillas advances within 60 kilometers of Manila. When the Republic of the Philippines gained independence on July 4, 1946, it immediately inherited a lethal internal conflict. The central plains of Luzon were rapidly overrun by the Hukbalahap rebel movement, leaving government infantry units armed only with light M1 rifles completely outgunned and repeatedly ambushed across dense terrain. To prevent an immediate collapse of the capital, military planners executed an unprecedented strategic doctrine shift. Through the United States Surplus Property Act of 1945 and the Military Assistance Agreement of 1947, the Philippine Army received dozens of M4 Sherman medium tanks, specifically the cast hull M4A1 and the welded hull M4A3 variants, supported by M32 tank recovery vehicles. Designed originally to shatter armored divisions on open European battlefields, these 30-ton giants were thrust directly into equatorial rainforests and swamps. On June 16, 1946, the Philippine Army formally activated its first and second independent light tank companies, creating the first heavy mechanized strike force in the history of the nation. Powered by 500 horsepower engines and protected by front armor up to 64 millimeters thick, the M4 Sherman transformed overnight from an anti-armor tank into a mobile fortress engineered to crush jungle insurgencies. Before we go on, do you think heavy tanks can ever truly master jungle warfare? Share your thoughts in the comments below, subscribe to the channel, and tell me where you are watching from. To survive in this hostile environment, the Philippine Army completely overhauled the operational doctrine of the M4 Sherman. Armored crews abandoned anti-armor kinetic rounds in favor of devastating anti-personnel munitions. The main 75mm M3 gun, possessing a muzzle velocity of 619 meters per second, was loaded with M48 high explosive shells, packed with 0.66 kilograms of TNT and M2 canister rounds, containing 850 lead pellets. A single discharge could instantly level concealed forest fortifications and clear hidden ambush positions inside dense bamboo groves where light mortars had failed. To generate overwhelming perimeter defense, the tanks utilized a layered three-tier machine gun network, combining a roof-mounted 12.7mm M2 HB heavy machine gun with two 7.62mm M1919, A4 machine guns mounted coaxially and inside the bow. Discharging over 1,500 rounds per minute, this immense volume of suppressive fire rendered opposing infantry rifles completely ineffective. Crucially, the cast steel front armor angled up to 56 degrees and 76mm thick turret plating turned the Sherman into an impenetrable mobile shield. During the decisive Mount Arayat offensive across Pampanga between 1950 and 1953, Defense Chief Ramon Magsaysay integrated these 30-ton armored vehicles directly with combined battalion combat teams. The psychological impact proved decisive. The deep rumble of the tracks and impervious armor broke the momentum of hostile fighters, paving the way for the eventual surrender of rebel leadership in May 1954 and securing the young republic. Despite its overwhelming firepower, the M4 Sherman soon collided with the harsh realities of tropical geography. Weighing over 31 tons with a ground pressure of 0.96 kilograms per square centimeter, The medium tank frequently sank into saturated mud and paddy fields during the heavy monsoon season. The rural infrastructure of the Philippines in the 1950s consisted largely of wooden bridges rated for loads under 15 tons, which collapsed under the immense weight of the Sherman and severely restricted its operational mobility. Compounding this challenge, opposing forces scavenged unexploded aerial bombs and artillery shells to construct improvised explosive devices designed to shatter the steel tracks of the vehicle. In response, Filipino tank crews engineered battlefield adaptations. Soldiers mounted dense coconut palm timber and spare steel track links along the sides of the hull, creating a field improvised armor layer that absorbed explosive blasts and deflected shrapnel. This practical innovation established a legacy of field modifications that Philippine armored units would utilize decades later in urban operations. The technical and logistical lessons learned in Luzon demonstrated that, while the Sherman possessed unparalleled tactical firepower, the unique archipelagic terrain required a much lighter and more maneuverable platform to achieve sustained strategic dominance across the islands. By the late 1950s, the operational limitations of the 30-ton M4 Sherman prompted a total transformation in Philippine military doctrine. Recognizing that heavy armor was unsustainable across fragmented island infrastructure, defense planners retired the Sherman in favor of agile, lightweight platforms. The military transitioned to the 18-ton M24 Chaffee, followed by the 23-ton M41 Walker Bulldog, and eventually the 8-ton FV-101 Scorpion. However, the foundational legacy of the Sherman was already permanently forged into the military history of the country. The two original tank companies formed on June 16, 1946, served as the direct institutional bedrock for what is known today as the Armor Pambato Division. Decades later, this doctrine culminated in the reactivation of the 1st Tank Battalion, now equipped with modern Sabra light tanks featuring 105mm cannons on tracked chassis. The M4 Sherman proved that weapon systems must evolve beyond their original design parameters to match the unique physical geography and strategic demands of their theater. It was not merely surplus hardware, but the essential shield that preserved national sovereignty during the most fragile chapter of the Republic. Looking at modern island defense doctrines today, do you believe light mobile armor is superior to heavy main battle tanks in Southeast Asian warfare?